It is 9:30 on a Thursday night, and you are tuned into Beltway Radio and Beyond, which can mean one and only thing. Then I got the bell back. This is ChipChat. Welcome to ChipChat, everybody. I'm Chip. Who are you, Tez?
You just told him, buddy.
Look at that. I hit it all
there
at
it
once.
Is. Look at
That's
you.
a massive win for us today.
Rhyming even as you were saying that.
Look at that.
Look at you.
Happy
Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Doesn't feel like a Thursday.
Oh, it feels like a Thursday.
Oh, does it? Well, because we're here.
Yeah, exactly. What do you mean? It doesn't feel like
and Friday's about to feel like a Friday.
Yeah.
Christ. You and I are the only two people who dread Fridays.
I do. I despise Fridays.
Ryan does too, but he can't admit that.
He doesn't admit it. But I despise Fridays. And again, enjoy. I don't know how long we've been doing this. I enjoy hanging here.
I think we're on like year 6. We're coming into year 6 or something.
Yeah, might be year 6. But Fridays just suck after that. So.
Yeah, but they're not as bad now that we don't have Hop Slam.
Yeah, which they've moved back to the normal. They should be coming out soon.
They should be. We should be on Hop Slam watch.
Remember they flipped the date? Like they came out at a random. It was that one year they were out in like I don't know when it was. It wasn't January into February as it's always been. It was
That's when it's supposed to happen.
That's when it's supposed to happen. But I read something that they went back to that. So
yeah, because it comes out after Mad Elf. That's usually like on my schedule of things that are dangerous. Mad Elf and then Hop Slam, and then hopefully what happens is not enough people buy the Hop Slam later into the season. And then Giant doesn't know what they've got on their hands, and they're
like, just get it out of here.
Yeah. They're like, here,
have 1 year. Have 1 year.
Oh my God, that was so awesome. They're like, here, this is $3. I was like, okay.
Sending pictures of Hopsland. Like if you scroll back from far
it was
enough.
Stacks of it, dude. It was stacks
I remember
that
one picture.
Yeah.
I think
I took a picture like it next to it, and it was like a pyramid. I was like, look at how much there is.
No one knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Anyway, shout out the Bells.
Yeah, big fans. All right. So that's enough DJing to ourselves. So this is a special edition of Chip Chat because we have a guest with us. And he's an expert side dude. Do you know what a side dude is?
I don't know what that is, yes. And an expert in front of it.
Yeah.
I put all that together.
He wrote a book about it. His name is Romello Marcellus, and he's here to discuss his new work about the subject. Now, you and I are old guys who have been, in committed long-term relationships now for so long we can barely remember how to tie our own shoes or like what it was like to choose what to eat for dinner. And so, I have no idea what this is like. I'm very excited to find out about what it's like out there in the world. So that should be good.
Okay. As I was reading through this, I was like, oh, wow, this is an interesting topic here. So
it is.
Some interesting
and of course, we've got Greenland turning into Iceland, Halligan turning into Don't Call Again, and the Department of Labor is stripping again.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. That's that was a mouthful.
Yeah. Oh God.
Nope. Okay. So and then we'll have some headlines and maybe even a little SCOTUS talk. We found a way to like somehow tie SCOTUS and the Fed together to make the most riveting conversation we could ever have.
I told you last week I told you
they're gonna figure out how to punt this.
Yeah, they have to get this.
They don't want to do it.
Can't mess up their money.
Well, White Jerome is safe for now.
But he'll be gone soon. Well,
no, he's going to stay.
He'll stay, but he will not be.
Out of spite, he's going to stay.
Yeah.
Bobby Weir's dead. What reason does he have to like?
I guess. Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do?
And Dead and Company losing another. The Dead losing he has nothing else to live for, right? He doesn't want to go out and retire and show his family. He would only be going to Dead shows. So we shall see him stay.
I'm trying to remember who it was, but they made some joke about how Dead and Company frontman Bobby Weir transitioned to just Dead. And that was on like an actual news broadcast.
Come on.
I was like, well, you know.
I mean, all right, yeah.
I think it was Steve Inskeep that said it, maybe.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah. They get a little spicy over there at NPR.
Yeah. It's lowbrow kind of for me. It's just like, all right, the easiest. The easiest thing
That's a bad joke even for us.
Yeah, and we have
terrible jokes.
I looked at the headlines. We got we got 10 of them, if not more bad jokes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, whoever wrote those is gonna be in trouble. Okay, so do you have a word?
Do I have a word?
I have a word. Don't think too hard.
I'm thinking too hard. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Do I have a word? Yeah, I got a word.
Okay, that was long enough.
I'm sorry.
So sit back, grab some
hiding spots.
It's snow time. You're listening to the best show, the only show, Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's popping up?
All right, so we have a guest, and let's explain who he is. But I have a very important question to ask him before we start all of our pre-written questions, which we never stick to anyway. So just let me ask him one right out of the gate.
Sit back and
okay. Romello Marcellus is an author, cultural commentator, and media personality known for intelligent, unapologetic conversations about modern relationships, accountability, and masculinity. His work prioritizes psychological clarity over viral noise, and for whatever reason, he now joins us here on Chip Chat. Romello, welcome to Chip Chat.
Man, thank you for having me.
So I do need to ask you this because I was watching one of your videos recently about Sharon Moore. And the reason I need to ask you about this is, like all Michigan fans, I am utterly despondent over what this means for us as an organization. I don't know how to handle this. I'm broken in more ways than I can possibly count. And you talked about him for an hour and a half, which is short in the way that I think about him. So can you explain to me how I should feel about Sharon Moore?
You should have no feelings because he's not going to be around.
Yeah, he's gone. I know that. I'm very aware of that.
You need to be concerned who's going to be in Ann Arbor next.
I'm very concerned about that too. I mean, we got him. We got Kyle, Whittingham. That's good. But I feel sad. That's the only word I have to describe this. But he did it to himself, I think, was the gist of what you said for all that whole YouTube video. Yeah.
See,
okay.
Basically, his whole thing spins basically into the book series that I've actually put out. Confessions being the second book, and Kings Play Chess and Not Checkers is the first one. So we speak to men's disciplines and the lack thereof, i.e. being driven by one head and not the actual head, and you lose everything. $14 million buyout and everything else.
Chance at glory.
Classic crash dummy.
Yeah.
When the arrest portion was when I was like, what the hell's going on?
And to have him show up in the court in the frosted man suit. That white suit meant he was on suicide watch.
Wasn't he out with his family the other day?
Yeah.
Sorry. Look.
All right. I shouldn't have brought it up. It's but I just wanted to
You
ask.
brought the shit up.
I know I brought it on myself
I don't know why you want to
because I did research and I'm a good reporter or whatever. I wanted to know.
Reporter.
Yeah, reporter. I just I don't know. I felt like asking him. He did a whole thing about it, and I can't talk about Sharon Moore for an hour and a half without sobbing. So the whole thing hurts me in every feeling I have. So I don't like it. Okay. Let's get back to the book though. So we do want to ask. We need a definition. Let's start off. What is a side dude?
Someone who is potentially selected to fill a void.
A specific void, I think, but
well, there's
many voids, right?
Yeah. Well, there's basically two aspects of the void. So we talk about infidelity. This is really not that, but the spin on it is the actual portion that the side guy receives if there's no clarity in the beginning. All right. So most would say the physical act of cheating is the cheating, but the harshest aspect of cheating is the emotional part. The emotional infidelity gives access to everything. So let's just say I met someone and they didn't disclose that they had someone. I couldn't gauge my emotional gauge with this individual because I'm, under the in the impression that they were single.
Right.
So I move forward as if we are actually establishing something. But then there are those who are honest about their situation. So now I can control that. So let's talk about side guys. Side guys that know that there is someone, it's merely a phone call and a tune-up. You call me, I'm gonna tune that ass up and I'm gonna send you home. I'm not spending any bread on you. I'm not doing anything. Because at the same time, you look at the deceptive nature of the individual you are engaging. Even to the point, I've had a woman call me up and say, hey, I'm going to send you the grocery list and the money. Go buy the groceries so I can spend 2 hours with you as opposed to spending that amount of time in the store.
Okay. So that's
a lot of planning.
Yeah. Yeah, it's way better than like calling Domino's on your way. I think it's about the extent of plan. I don't think I planned my bar mitzvah that well.
Hey. But you got to understand there's a difference in the deceptive nature between males and females. We lazy. Basically, hey, look, I'm at the bar down the street. There's a dewdrop in across here. We're going to go here and do this. But, when a woman decides to put a plan in play, CIA ain't got nothing on her. She's going to have accomplishments and everything else.
So when the side dude is aware that he's a side, are there like levels, right? Is there like the side dude who doesn't know he's a side and he's getting kind of emotionally battered in that relationship versus the one who is aware and is, I guess, okay with it, right? And so then maybe he's a little more like maintaining, right? Are there levels of side dude?
Could you be aware and being battered at the same time? Is that even an option?
Ooh.
Okay.
You can.
Okay, so there's 3 levels.
Yeah, so actually 3. So even with that, we talk about someone would say, well, to be a side dude, you're living in a state of silence, but it's actually containment. You're being contained. Once you figure out the parameters in which you can play, you play in those parameters. You can only call at a certain time. You can only see her at a certain time. You can only do what is allowed you to do based on the actual options given. A lot of times, if you are not in control of your emotions, you'll find yourself questioning yourself. Holidays and things roll up and you're not a part of that thing, but you're attached to this woman. And it's happened. I write about it in the book, actually in book 2, where you have a gentleman who met a woman who kind of severed ties with her guy. She didn't let him know until they were actually together, after she had separated from him, that they kind of overlapped. She got back with her guy, and this is a true story. And she ghosted the guy, didn't tell him anything, and he ended up finding out that she had gotten back with a guy because she had posted her nuptials in the paper.
Oh,
the day of the wedding, he found her. The groomsmen had left the hotel. The bridesmaids came down. They got in their car, and the matron of honor came down, and then the bride came down. Unbeknownst to the bride, the guy saw her, found her, walked up behind her, doused her with lighter fluid, and boom, the wedding didn't happen to 3 or 4 years later. And this is a true story.
Jesus Christ.
Let's not do that.
Exactly.
Okay. So
that is like the craziest crash out I've heard.
You better know it.
What?
Yeah, lighter fluid aside, let's.
I mean, I guess even to, I mean, are you just emotionally hijacked at that point? Because like, the brain is off, right? At that point.
So the book, the books are basically, it's not about cheating. It is about dealing with emotional accountability. If you are reckless with your decisions and your choices with people and how you handle them, there could potentially be consequences. Okay, let's just say you got a side dude, and the woman, let's say she's dissatisfied because she's not receiving the proper attention at home, whatever that may be. She didn't calculate the fact that she may have found someone who was in a position that, okay, could very well entertain her, but get attached to other things about her. And then that happens. It happens with females too, where you have females that have walked out of their places and have had things happen to them because their partners didn't account for the fact that someone was not emotionally stable enough or sound enough to play their part.
So,
as men,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
As men, we are kind of programmed to deal with these things in silence. Any emotional change, in silence, whether it's our pride, our dignity, whatever that may be, what that could potentially look like. But women tend to process dissatisfaction in their relationships internally long before they act on it. This is why when they meet someone like a side guy, it's merely conversation first. To have a conversation with somebody that's in depth, that means that I like you. I'm getting to know you. I'm extending these things to you. And a side dude's position is to listen and take his time with his responses. The responses are not to commit myself, but to just be here and be a place of comfort for you. You need to blow off some steam? Yeah, come on over. You need to get away for a moment? Come on over. I got you. You just want to be held? You see these shoulders, they nice and strong. Come on over. You can lean on me. Yeah. Bill Weather style. Yeah. And I'm going to send you home. Don't forget the ring.
So, okay. Not to make it back to college football or anything, but one of the things, no, this is a legitimate question. Okay. Nick Saban famously tells his players, never, or his staff, I guess, never mess with somebody who has less to lose than you do. Boom. And I think that's a wise decision, I guess, if you're going to be doing so. And I'm not thinking about it only in terms of like infidelity, right? But also in terms of like, if you're going to do something a little nefarious in business or something like that, that there's no honor amongst thieves. Everybody knows that what they're doing is wrong, and they basically don't trust each other. So they got to have something on the other one to keep them accountable. And if you can lose more than the other person you're committing the act with, you're vulnerable in a way that they're not, and it's imbalanced. So Do you I mean, do you cover that, or like, is that a thing? Do other people think about that? How does that go?
This is a Sharon Moore thing.
It is. This is where it came up. No, this is how I learned about it.
$14 million buyout. Come on now.
Yeah,
See
that's the
everything to
thing,
lose.
right? That
Yeah.
Saban tells his staff, don't get in trouble with your subordinates because they got nothing to lose and you got everything to lose.
Everything. But see, here's the thing. Because he was a side guy, he was a billboard. The individuals that played the side game with him knew everything that he had. As a side dude, you don't know shit about me. I'm gonna meet you where I meet you. We're always outside. You're never coming to where I rest. I got money for hotels. You got money for hotels. And I'm gonna tell you something. It may sound crass, but it takes no time to do what you came to do. I had a female that I interviewed, and this is the deception and the depth that some people are willing to go. She was in the home with her guy, and her ex texted her. She was willing to leave the house under the guise of going to get snacks to meet this guy in a gas station parking lot and get cream pied and come back home and try to creep in. And then the guy, her significant other, wanted to have relations with her and began to give her fellatio and said it tasted good. And she hadn't had a chance to wash.
Yeah.
Cheers,
Okay.
brother.
This is an episode of Jerry Springer I hadn't prepared for.
Well, I'm just saying these are the things that happen.
No, I'm aware that they happen. I'm okay. So the side guy aspect of it, right? Like I think the real issue here is about the emotion though, right? And so like if you are the side guy, you're being used, and maybe you're using the other person as well. I suppose it could be that. But like, is this meant to be, you keep mentioning about like containment and controlling your feelings or emotions or being in control of that. But like, let's say you start off in control and then, you start to you feel left out. You feel like you're not getting the full thing or whatever. Like how do side guys sort of bring that back and be like, nope, this isn't for me, and can they also like be running, can they hit ignore? Like
well,
if the girl calls him, can the side guy be like, no, I don't want to talk to you right now? Can he do that?
Sure he can. But here's the thing. Depending on the scenario, the guy can get lost in the rapture, i.e. the feeling of being with this woman and how beguiling she potentially can be with stating, matter of fact, you know what? Here's the thing. If a woman calls you guys and she's talking to you, 9 times out of 10, she's talking to you about the things she's not receiving at home. She's clowning the guy. Oh yeah, that motherfucker doesn't. Excuse my French. He doesn't.
No, you can say that. That's
do
fine.
X, Y, and Z, and so on, right? So you're just listening, and you may just go through the motions because you're just listening, and you're giving her the very things that she does not receive at home. I see it all the time. A lot of times when women emote, they don't want you to do shit. They just want you to know that I heard you. And if this guy is really on his game, he's doing what he got to do, whatever he needs to do, he may not hear her. This is the 80-20 rule. So here you go. We live in a world where means put you in a position to be the boss. I pay the cost to do it.
Right.
If I got money, I'm not available to you. But if I'm home, I'm broke. So you got to toss the two unless there's some balance. I'm working a 9 to 5. Half the things that you desire, we're not going to have. But if I'm applying myself to things that are greater than me, I may not be available to you to receive all the things that you receive. This is the pitfall for the side guy who is not aware of himself, meaning he's not amassing his disciplines. So the book that I Kings is merely about men understanding the disciplines of themselves and not orbiting around things, meaning being the center of it all. But a side guy, he's on the sideline. He's going to play his part. He's going to be the accomplice. He's going to be the cousin. He's going to be the childhood best friend. He's going to be every aspect of it. And to the point where in conversation, he knows who the woman's mother, the brothers are, the childhood friends, where they grew up are. Because if it ever comes down to it where he's grilled by the man, he's able to answer those questions and be believable.
It's like kind of like having a job, isn't it?
You better say it.
I mean,
let me give you an example. Let's go back to 1990. Well, let's just say some years ago.
We're old. You can say 1990 something.
Yeah.
We remember.
Hey,
I was fully employed.
I was a side guy to a welterweight fighter who was a champion. He held multiple belts. And I was a side guy to his wife. And this is nothing that I have to embellish because it's documented. And this woman was, she was lonely because he was never there. Even to the point where I had taken pictures with some other people when I was out on the road, and this person expressed emotions that she would express for her husband. And yeah, man, it went left quickly. It got to the point where individuals around her turned on her to expose the fact that she was gone. She had lost herself in regards to her family. And I continued to try to send her back to her family. Yeah. Gifts and everything showed up at that point in time. And yeah, it was bad, real bad. I hadn't lost myself, but she had lost herself in that position. So yeah, it can reverse.
I was going to say, like, can the side guy like send her back? It's like, I'm done with this. This is too much for me. I don't like it anymore, and break it off, or like, then does she always live in fear that he'll expose her, or what's the deal?
Well, usually when they get to that point, they don't care. They've chosen to go back home, and whoever's there has already licked the wounds and accepted them back and say, okay, well, it is what it is, because he's simping. And that's that. But if I was the guy, you'd be packing your shit tonight.
Yeah.
Well, there's no get back, because if you do it once, you can do it anytime you get ready.
So we learned, from you and from others, that men can now have emotions until Pete Hegseth bans that along with beards. And so aside from like feeling left out, what are some of the emotions that the side dude would run through over the course of these relationships?
It's not so much the emotions. Here's the thing: we as men, we're always in competition with other men. Okay, it's conquer. It's not about division. The fact that this woman chose you, you have to be sure about your pimping. If it's faulty, you're gonna fall for it. She's already showed you she's deceptive because she chose to fuck with you.
Right.
So if you fall for this woman who is stepping out and deceiving the guy at home that's 9 times out of 10 making provision for her to do the shit she's doing, you're a crash dummy. You're supposed to just jump on her and pay her in pounds and keep it pushing.
Pushing.
I was like, where the hell's the bell?
That's a double.
The bell should have been used minutes ago.
Yeah.
All right. So not emotions exactly, but like, do side dudes talk to other side dudes to like, do they have like support groups or like, yeah, or like, hey man, I'm feeling wrapped up in this, and I know I'm not supposed to. And the other side dudes are like, no man, stay strong. We don't love these hoes.
Get your fucking head in the game. Your right head in the fucking
get your head in the game and pay it in pounds. And then like or so do they talk to each other? Do they exchange tips? Is there like do they have like an app or something where they I don't know, do they chat groups? What you know what I'm saying? Do they get together in like church basements to discuss their recent activities? How does that work?
You know what? It's like pimping. It's a lonely game. You got friends that you talk to, but you don't share notes.
What if it turned out they were sharing the same person? Like they were both side dudes to one girl.
You know what?
Would it matter?
Yeah. Would it matter?
It
It
doesn't
doesn't matter because you're not emotionally attached.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
This might feel kind of indelicate, and this is probably indelicate to say, but I guess to be successful at this, you almost kind of got to be like compartmentalize this right in the state of emotions out of it. I don't know any other way to say it, almost kind of psychopathic, right? In the sense,
Yeah.
like, yeah, you almost got to be kind of like a psychopath to go do this type of shit. I don't know any other way to say
that.
Well,
no. Correction. Not a psychopath, but kind of a sociopath.
Sociopath. Okay.
That is,
yes, there it is. Sociopath. Yeah. Because you almost, you got to just, that's some James Bond type shit, man.
Exactly.
You have to put everything in a box and not let it affect you.
It's over there. Just that shit is there, and we can go about our business.
I don't know how I can't do that with anything.
Listen, you listen. Let's. Do you have women?
Yeah, I'm married, and I'm 21 years together. Like I'm not doing anything.
21 years, right? Let's put this in a box, right? You were able to grab one of these little apps and find out that your wife had Tinder and Bumble and whatever meet.com, and you find out that she's sending
OkCupid
naked pics, and she's got dick pics in her thing, and you know she's disappearing from work at a certain time, and then you go into her goddamn Uber, and she's showing up at hotels and different places in midday, and then hey, you were able to have an opportunity to see the fact that somebody sent her lunch. What would that do for you?
Yeah, it'd be terrible. I think. I don't know. I mean, also, how do people check into hotels anonymously anymore? Don't they ask for like a million kinds of ID?
Listen, there's more than one way to skin a goddamn cat.
Yeah, I'm
Here's the thing: if you were smart, and this is the deceptive nature of those that are determined to do the shit that they want to do. Even creating a business, I can check into the hotel under the business. You would never know that I was there.
Right. Well, ChipChat LLC exists. Maybe it should start earning hotel points.
There you go.
So if you are out there as a side dude and you need some sort of anonymous way to check in, we will rent our business existence to you for a small fee so you can check in anonymously and we'll take the hotel points.
Hey, listen.
It seems like a fair deal.
If you post the link, I promise you'll get a few hits.
That's an enterprising idea.
No more than a light bill or a water bill or something like that, but yeah, you'll get some hits.
Yeah. All right. Brian, get on that. Okay. So I am just, there's a lot of blues songs that basically are this thing, right? You know, like I think Our Girlfriend Is Cheating on Us or something like that. You know, there's various ones that have that kind of line. How does side dudeology show up in art in your experience?
You know, as a side dude, you've already learned to compartmentalize your emotions. You see the individual in front of you for what they are. Can I be crass for a moment?
Sure.
Can I do this as an attorney examining a potential hostile witness?
I mean, I'm not.
Yes,
I'm not hostile, but yes, please
so
go ahead.
Call her Sarah.
Sarah. Damn it, Sarah.
There you go. So you're gonna be the judge. Your honors, and Sarah's her. So Sarah, bitch, you knew you were unhappy at home, and you decided to extend yourself to Ronnie. You started a mere inbox exchange on Facebook. which is the new outside since
That's
COVID.
That's yes.
That's the new
So
outside.
you like each other's pictures. I like your picture. You work in the gym, you doing your thing, you on the boat, you on the bike, I like you. Yeah, I like you too. But I see you got a husband. Oh, don't worry about him. We probably gonna get a divorce. Bam. Ronnie says, well, wow, that's sad. The response from Sarah is, nah, it's just been time. We've been doing it a long time. The kids and all that, they gone. And Ronnie said, well, okay. Boom. A couple months go by. Sarah, did you inquire on Saturday, January 27th, 2026, that you would like to meet Ronnie at the coffee shop just to do a formal meet and greet? Because the inbox was not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Your Honor, please instruct the witness to answer.
Go ahead and answer the question, Sarah,
Yes.
you bitch.
Okay, see, bitch, you're wrong. Because at the same time, you didn't inform yet your husband that you were truly going to do what you were going to do. Ronnie's a good listener in your mind, but in all actuality, your husband was a good listener too. But at the same time, he was doing what he was supposed to do, being a provider, a keeper, and a protector. That means that your delusions of grandeur and all the other shit that you are willing to, feed your mind with daily, because you see other females doing the shit, became a problem for you. So let me enter this into evidence. This is evidence exhibit A, where you have most females that are willing to wake up out of their bed, not even touch the man next to them, and go to the shitter with this little gadget right here and tap into the world and see what other females are getting, or selling their souls for, and they believe they're entitled to.
Okay.
So now let's reel this back in. Sarah.
Yeah, answer him, Sarah.
You met Ronnie on Saturday morning at this fucking Starbucks coffee shop on Wisconsin Avenue.
Yeah, you did.
And you had a good conversation, didn't you? Yeah, you did.
And a latte.
You liked Ronnie. You did what you needed to do. And you wanted to go to dinner with Ronnie. And Ronnie said, okay, but I ain't got no money. And you said, shit, I got plenty of money, Ronnie. We going. And that money you got wasn't even yours. It was your husband's. You went so far to spend your baby's college money to make sure Ronnie had a good time eating lobsters and scrimps and strawberries, and y'all drank bourbon. You did what you did all night long and had conversation. Ronnie didn't try to hump on you. Did Ronnie try to hump on you?
Yeah, answer him, Sarah.
Answer the question.
No, he didn't do it.
All righty. He walked you to the car. He sent you home. And that was Saturday night. And Monday morning at work, you couldn't contain yourself. You had to call Ronnie and say, can I see you for lunch? And Ronnie said, I ain't got no money to be coming to lunch with you. Because see, Ronnie already knew about your sorry ass, that you had a husband at home. And Ronnie know he make $48,000. Matter of fact, he's bringing $48,000 home. He ain't got no money to be playing with you. So yeah, you came on and you met with Ronnie for lunch and you paid for lunch, and Ronnie went on back where Ronnie came from. And you liked the fact that Ronnie listened to you and was there and opened the door and walked you to the Uber and sent you back to work that you paid for. Or your husband paid for. So when you decide to call Ronnie on Thursday and say, listen, I'm going to take off for half a day, but I'm going to go ahead and get me a hotel at the Washington Thomas Circle Hotel, and want you to come and visit me for lunch. You made it up in your mind that you was going to give him some cootie cat, didn't you? Didn't you?
And you checked in using the new ChipChat LLC hotel points arrangement.
Say it again. Repeat that. Yeah, we're going to put the link up tonight. Y'all need to get that. Yeah. All you cheaters. Yeah. And
we're not facilitating anything. We're just making it available for those who may need to. That's
free market. Free market, man. Supply and demand.
Hey,
supply and demand, man.
Capitalism, baby. This is rent seeking at its highest. We simply own the existence of a corporation, and people will pay us to use it for whatever.
Hey, listen, I want to light up so bad, man, and I don't want to offend anybody. I got a good cigar over here, and I need to light it up.
You can light cigars. We don't care.
Thank you.
We can't smell things through the internet. Nobody's gonna be upset about that. Okay, so in this hostile witness version of the story, Sarah's moving very fast, right? She's gone from like a few text messages to like three meetings in a week, and husband seems to be totally unaware, and all of that. At some point, I'm just wondering, how like the old comedy line of like, take my wife, please. Is there some aspect of that going on with side dudes where like main dude is just like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. It's more effort than I want to put in.
He is totally unaware.
Oh, he's unaware, or he doesn't care?
He's totally unaware.
Okay, but he does care if he knew.
Oh, he cares. Okay, trust me. He's got her, he's paying the cost to be the boss.
Okay.
9 times out of 10.
So it doesn't sound to me like Ronnie has a job yet in this version. So far he's still in
job. He's getting 48,000.
Yeah, but he has his own job. But like I feel like he's in the interview process.
He's just fucking.
Okay, it's not a job yet. He doesn't know the boundaries of the containment.
No, she's a jump off.
Okay, that's good for Ronnie, I guess.
There you go.
As long as he don't get
lost.
lost.
Especially when leaving the club at late night and, hey, look, what you doing? Hey, listen, I'm going to come over here. Yeah, of course. Come on.
And I noticed Ronnie hasn't met her at his house yet. So he's also like maintained that distance.
They're doing car dates and some more shit. Friday night happy hour. She go out. Hey, look, I'm over here at this mall. Meet me in the parking lot. She come over and give him some got 5,000 going home. I see one
euphemisms, man. The euphemisms are amazing.
I'm just trying to tell you, it is what it is. And the thing is, it's not always glorified, because here's the thing. The emotional checkout has already happened. The physical thing is merely the actionable item.
Right.
The thing that makes it more serious is the emotional checkout, that this woman is willing to subject herself to anything less than what she would truly be deserving if she was solid in her mind.
Yeah, I think that's true of like any kind of nefarious activity, right? Like by the time you've decided to rob the bank, you're already morally bankrupt at that point, right? So like, well, maybe
no.
That's not the right word. But
let me say this to you, because I know bank robbers. They going in for the money. They don't.
Yeah, okay, that's right. That was a bad example. By the time
I think they're going in to get.
Yeah, maybe not that, but you know what I mean. Like by the time you've decided to commit the act, no matter whether you actually go through with committing it or not, you've already kind of crossed some line at some point mentally.
Yeah.
That you've decided this is an okay thing to do. So, isn't that like what Jimmy Carter said he was sorry for? He committed adultery in his mind or something, and that he had to apologize for that.
Yeah, I guess the relevant conduct he was sorry for. Yeah, in his mind.
Yeah, well, Jimmy Carter's so good he doesn't even do adultery in his mind.
In his mind.
He's like Jesus, but better. That's what the JC and Jimmy Carter stood for.
Right. Oh, God.
Yeah, him. That guy that you just mentioned. Him. Yes.
Wow.
Jimmy Carter has the same initial. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Clear on that.
So listen, I want to hear the rest of the Sarah story, but I feel like maybe we need to have you back on to tell like some more of these things, and maybe even like we can reenact it like as a radio play. Maybe we'll get a few people together. You're a writer, right? You've got the gift of this storytelling. You're conjuring it up in front of us right now in real time. So here's what we should do. and we're going to plan this next interview on the air. What we're going to do is between now and whenever you feel like you're ready to do this, you're going to write us up a show, a whole set of dialogue, right? We're going to find a few other people to help us to be, join in. I'm sure we can get Charlie to help with some voices and all this other kind of stuff, right? And we're going to reenact your story, whatever story you write for us on the air, with you directing it and like managing that. Does that sound like something we can do?
Let's go.
Have a lot of fun with this.
Hey, listen, the script is already written.
Right. Yes, I was going to say.
Let's go.
Who gets to be Ronnie? I don't know if we have the leading man ready to be Ronnie.
You can be Ronnie.
I don't think I'm up to Ronnie. I could be like the Uber driver. I think that's about like I'm not main character. I'm kind of like side character.
Nah.
Let's go.
There we go.
I love it.
Fully here for this.
Yes. Okay. Amongst the better ideas we've had on the show. So Romello, how can everybody get the books and stuff and because they got to read up, they got to be ready for when we do this.
You got to be ready for when we do this.
It's available now on Amazon.
What do they search? What do they go look for? Just your name?
Confessions of a Side Dude, and by me, Romello Marcellus. It's right there.
There you go. And that's what the book looks like. So when maybe if you get this book, you don't leave it out on your coffee table. I think that's
and the thing is, it's so intense. It's a quick read. It's only 17 pages.
Okay.
And you're gonna get everything you need to get.
Sort of like a poem. I read some of it. It does read a bit like a poem.
It does read
perfectly honest.
Poetry, yes.
So maybe you can incorporate some poetry into the radio play that we're gonna do as well. You clearly have a knack for that. The concise, like bam, ba-bam, ba-bam, it's containment. I love that. That's just sort of like that works. So okay. And then if they want to follow you and catch up with your other pursuits, what's a good way for them to do that?
Romello.Marcellus on the Insta-Slut. Same thing, Romello Marcellus on Facebook. And Triggered with Romello Marcellus on YouTube. And from there, you can get my my Patreon and my Telegram.
There you go.
There we go. That's what's important.
Yeah, the Telegram.
You can come and check me out on Clubhouse, Lawyers Without Borders.
Oh, that's your like real gig. You're like a lawyer.
Yeah, come check me out.
That's impressive. Yeah, no, we need a lawyer.
I'll help you.
We're not going to say why, but we need a lawyer.
I was going to say, be quiet.
I'll text you about that later.
Shut up. Don't say anything.
Shut up. Not without my lawyer present, I won't.
Hey, I heard y'all talk about Georgetown. Excuse me, George Washington, rather.
Yeah.
We'll talk offline.
Okay, we'll talk about that. Yeah. Brian knows more about that. I'm up at Howard. He's down in GW. We have, competing ideas. But anyway, well, not about that. It's a different. We don't compete at those things.
I was like,
calm down, Tez.
More about these competing ideas that you have.
No.
These competing ideas.
All right. Romello, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break and then we're going to do the rest of the show. Do you want to hang out with us for the rest of the show or do you want to?
Sure.
All right. Now last week we had a guest willing to do that and we seem to be rolling.
Yeah.
So
usually people leave, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, a lot of people bail on us, to be honest.
Which I did.
Man, I'm here, man. I'm for it. I'm here for it.
That's great. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a break. When we get back, we're gonna do some headlines and hang out with Romello Marcellus. You're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
Whoop. What do you think? Huh? What do you think?
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and Beyond. I'm your host Chip. With me is Tez.
What's popping, y'all? That took us everywhere.
Hanging out with us. Yeah, sorry, that was cool. Hold on. Hanging out with us is Romello Marcellus.
Yeah,
sorry,
I'm here. Goddamn, here I am. Goddamn it.
There we go.
That's right. And Brian, who was that or what was that?
That's oh great! I have to find it again. That was Rat Taxi by Louis Zong.
I like that, man. That was dope.
Yeah, it was. That
was
the
cool.
name.
Partying out, man. Listen, I was about to crack a rib in here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was getting down.
I figure it's like a good, since we're talking about side dudes, so the whole rat race of trying to find some decent girls.
Rat Taxi.
Taxi. Piece of a girl.
That would be the worst name for a food truck.
Rat Taxi.
The Rat Taxi. What did you have for lunch, Rat Taxi?
Rat Taxi.
Yeah. Don't go to the Rat Taxi. All right. Speaking of rat taxis, do you want to do some headlines?
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. So Romello, I'm just gonna let you know, hang on tight for what's about to happen. And since you're now our legal counsel, you're gonna you feel
I'll put my seatbelt on and I'm riding.
Yep.
There we go.
All right, Tez. Do you want the first one?
Sure,
you count ahead?
I didn't count ahead. I did look through the show though, just once.
Okay.
Just once. All right, here we go. Lindsay Halligan has stepped down from her post as U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. She said she plans to use her time to continue not being the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia.
That's right. Trump is in Davos this week addressing actual rich people, but instead of discussing the world economy, he's focused on pissing off the Europeans by threatening Greenland.
Which one does in Davos?
Yeah.
Excuse me. If going forward, if we're using him for the rest of the night, can we call him Uncle Daddy?
Uncle Daddy. That is what he says that the people in Greenland call him.
He does say that. That is.
He does say that. That's what my nephew calls me, actually. So that's a whole confusing thing in our family.
Sorry.
He goes, "You're my favorite dad," and I was like, "You mean like all the dads you know?" And he goes, "No, my dad is mean. You're nice." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
That's the response.
Just like an uncle who's a daddy.
Like
I have his cousins, right, are my kids, and I am a dad, and he likes me better than his dad, which that's the uncle's job, right? Is to be cooler than the dad. Okay,
so we're trying this Uncle Daddy out. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see.
Intelligence sources say they got Uncle Daddy interested in Greenland by telling him he could banish all the vegetables to the green territory. I tried to get this. I'm going to do one of these straight faced. I'm going to do one.
In an effort to protect its territory, Denmark changed the name to Green New Deal Land.
Just stay the fuck away from that. I'd say no one did it. Drill, baby, drill. Oh, I get all the ones now that have. Okay, no, this is crazy. All right. Uncle Daddy's efforts against Denmark could backfire, as all the Ozempic in the world is produced by the Danes, and for no reason at all, Sarah Huckabee Sanders recently came out against U.S. control of Greenland. No.
Canada joined the other remaining NATO allies in condemning Trump's threats to use force
Uncle
to take
Daddy.
Greenland.
Uncle Daddy.
Sorry, Uncle Daddy's threats to use force to take Greenland, saying they were mad enough to write several letters, which in Canadian is fighting words.
Right. There we go.
No, they actually wrote like an angry thing. Mark Carney used words. He was like,
what they say up there? What does it mean, eh?
Yeah, we're not about that, eh?
Hey.
Oh, God.
All they got is some bacon. Hey.
It's not even bacon, it's ham. They
It
just
is
don't
ham.
know that it's
It
they
is
don't
ham.
know what bacon is.
It is ham. that Canadian bacon is straight ham.
Oh,
All right.
Lord.
While ranting at Europeans and world leaders in Davos, Uncle Daddy explained that his aggressions towards Iceland had caused some market turmoil, confusing everyone in Iceland and prompting Denmark to call Trump's Jamaican nurse.
Oh man.
Obviously, I would read that.
I had hoped. I had hoped.
Obviously, I mean,
The Jamaican nurse. Markets did, in fact, respond to Uncle Daddy's aggression. The drive-through at KFC may never recover.
Mm.
all right.
They ain't selling nothing but wings and beaks anyway.
Beaks is crazy.
Allegedly. Excuse me. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Look at these dead ass birds.
See? He's a good lawyer.
Allegedly.
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 I've been trying to get Chip to say allegedly on this show for half of the things that we've been saying for the last 6 years.
I'm
Please.
doing the alleging. I don't have to allegedly. I
Well,
just
no.
allege.
You
I'm alleging.
You are.
I'm the allegedly.
There you go. Alleged.
There you go. New
The
reporting
alleged
shows
perpetrators. of
the alleged
fraud that
perpetrators.
committed.
Yeah, that might be us. New reporting shows that Doge staffers did take Social Security information and put it on unsecured servers. We'll talk about that later. And federal officials cannot access. So watch out if you suddenly signed up for 3 Grindr accounts under the screen name Big Balls.
And that's big balls with a Z.
Oh,
Z.
wow.
Yeah.
Are they hanging? Or are they tight?
Oh,
Did they drop?
God.
Allegedly, they didn't drop.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Someone might think you a different type of sad dude than.
Hey, it's a grinder account, man. That's what you're doing.
I was gonna say, I was like, oh Lord, you signed up for 3. That's
Oh, wow.
It's like CPAC every time.
yeah, that is
Yeah,
true.
that does happen.
That does
All right,
happen.
The Postal Service announced a deal to provide their last mile service to ICE as long as ICE agrees to wear the little shorts. Especially in Minnesota. They got to wear shorts in Minnesota.
No.
Oh, wow.
In sports, Josh Allen proved with enough salt, even tears won't freeze Buffalo. Damn. Why you take Josh Allen? Everyone was crying.
Everybody was crying, but I went after Josh because it was easy.
Yeah.
I mean, the writers went after Josh because it was easy.
Yeah, there you go.
Allegedly. The
Allegedly.
refs in the NFL had some explaining to do when they momentarily changed the rules of what constitutes a completed pass and down by contact, but this time not to aid Tom Brady or the Kansas City Chiefs.
Got
Got some explaining to do.
Oh, wow.
Not finally. We still got a few more. Prince George's County, Maryland announced that they would be building a sphere similar to the one in Las Vegas, except this one is right next to the casino and a bigger waste of money. Congress. Jesus Christ. It is close to Congress.
It is close, yeah. A snowstorm is expected to slam into the eastern half of the U.S. over the weekend. A snowstorm is what Donald Trump Jr. calls most weekends. And if you notice that we already did a DJ TJ cocaine joke last week, you're right, but DJ TJ doesn't remember, and it's still funny.
We call him Cousin Daddy.
Cousin Daddy.
Cousin Daddy.
Cousin
Oh,
Daddy.
good. You
Baron
do
is
get the
Cousin
last
Daddy.
one. I'm so excited to hear you read this.
Oh, fuck. What is this? What am I about to read? I am not looking forward to this.
I'm ducking.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Woo! All right, y'all. Here we go. This week, the nation commemorated Martin Luther King Day, or as Fox News calls it, Charlie Kirk Day.
Oh. Damn.
Christ.
Oh,
You know,
that was rough. Whoever wrote that's got something wrong with them.
he did. I mean, folks were saying they were trying to say he was like MLK.
They love
that was
to
sad.
say that. They
It's
love
crazy.
that.
It's
They're
crazy.
like, oh, Charlie Kirk can judge man by his character. Oh my God.
There's only one thing they have in common.
Yeah. That's true. That's why the joke works.
It's only one. All right. Let's move the fuck on from that.
Let's take a shot at something else.
Okay, there you go.
No.
Give yourself the fucking bell. Jesus.
Okay. That's not good. All right, let's see. You want to do some rundown?
Let's do the rundown.
All right, now we've come to the part of the show. It's called the Rundown. This is where I tell you about some stuff that's going on in the news. If we were real reporters, it would sound a little something like this.
Go Blue.
Oh my God, no!
From Beltway Radio
Ryan.
in Washington, D.C., I'm Emmy-nominated TV newsman and just bona fide sexual beast, J. Scott Smith. And this is the part of the show where I tell some stuff about well, maybe not me, but somebody else is going to tell some stuff about what's happening in the news. So what's going on in the news, fellas?
Thanks, Jay. Go check him out. He's on the weekends in Detroit. They know how to handle snow, by the way. Not like us. Okay. So before we're going to talk about Don Lemon for a minute, which of course means that the news has been very slow this week.
That's a great response.
I can't believe I'm going to talk about Don Lemon, but
Lort.
Yes, with a T.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, I want to mention like why we're talking about Don Lemon, which has to do with the fact that ICE is abducting all of the people all of the time. And it's thousands and thousands of people by their own admission. And they say they're all criminals, including the 5-year-old that they abducted in Minnesota today. Okay. And just to fill in the context of this, what happened was they went to a car where a guy was driving his kid to school. They smashed all the windows in the car with the kid inside and dragged the dad off and arrested him for driving his kid to school. And then they were like, oh, this is an unaccompanied minor. We better arrest him too. And so then they arrested the 5-year-old and then said that the dad had abandoned the 5-year-old and then threw the 5-year-old in detention. Which
is this the one that ended up in Texas?
Yes, and then they ended up in Texas, which is totally normal, right? Because that's what real countries do with children.
Well, legally, they have the right to expand the implication.
Yeah. They also issued this memo where they said that an administrative warrant was good enough reason to go into somebody's house.
Exactly.
It does seem a little confusing because I was fairly certain that the Third Amendment is the one about quartering soldiers, and the Fourth Amendment is the one that says you better not go the fuck in my house without a warrant. And so, I don't know why they think that's going to hold, but just for everybody's clarity.
Who signed this administrative warrant?
That's a great question. An immigration judge.
I don't know.
Which is funny because they're not judges. They are employees of the executive branch. So if we get into a separation of powers question here about whether this is a warrant that has been signed by the judiciary because the executive has made a case of probable cause or otherwise, that is not the case. That is not what's happening here. So imagine you wrote your own permission slip to go break into my house and take my shit. That's what we're talking about.
Well, hopefully someone will take my fake permission slip to the Supreme Court and they'll rule in my favor.
It'll happen pretty quickly, I would imagine. But it's just one of the. Also, keep in mind they are using
crazy. Yeah,
they're using children as bait. I want to be clear about that.
Yeah, yes. Let me be.
They're going and snatching up kids, and then they're going to the house with the kid that they snatched up from a school, which they have done now hundreds and hundreds of times. They're taking kids out of school, going to the house where the parents live, and saying, "If you want your kid back, come outside and get him." And then they go, well, we can't come outside because you're going to arrest us. Now they don't even need to do that. They're just going to go break down the door and be like, oh, we have a judicial warrant. You don't have a judicial warrant. Yeah, no, it's an administrative judicial warrant. It's good now. And then they're just going to take them.
So let me ask you a question, you guys. Depending on where these people are from, if any of us Americans went and posted up in their countries, would we receive any quarter in regards to how they decided to administer their law to us? Whether
I don't know
Sharia or any other law.
I mean, I'm not familiar well enough with the Constitution of Costa Rica, but I'm pretty familiar with the U.S. Constitution, and all of the rights therein are guaranteed to all of the people therein. And so it doesn't really make any goddamn difference what country they're from.
Isn't it persons? Isn't it persons?
It says persons. All persons are 14th Amendment, very clear.
Citizens.
No, it says persons, and it says equal and due process under the law. So it doesn't matter whether they're a citizen or not.
Listen. In the court of law, citizens applies to, persons applies to citizens. And if most people don't, most people do not recognize what the courts of law are. There are two things. When we operate in this country, we operate under maritime law, and we do not recognize what the actual courts of law are. They're the banks. So if you're not a citizen here, you're not paying taxes. That's one. The second aspect of it is if I cannot collect the debt from you, you're no good to me. So I can send you down to Gitmo, or I can send you back to your country, and all these things. So these are the nuances that play in regards to people they go and apprehend.
I mean, that may be the practical application, but the 14th Amendment, to be clear for everybody who is listening, it says directly, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state.
No.
This is what it says. This is the actual Constitution.
But not the 14th Amendment. We go for the 5th Amendment on this.
We can get, well, hold on. Before we even do any of that, no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person. Keyword. Stay with me now. Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny any person within its jurisdiction, of the equal protection of those laws. That's what it says.
Keyword.
And I didn't write it.
Keyword citizen.
No. Keyword person.
No. Keyword citizen. Because you have to go into the
Fifth Amendment. The Fifth Amendment includes aliens. The Fifth Amendment due process clause protects all persons within U.S. territories, including corporations, aliens, and presumptively citizens.
It does.
Seeking remit. Yeah, that's the Fifth Amendment.
Specifically says so.
Does not.
And that is the law.
No. Actually, does not. Depending on, and here's where it gets murky. At the discretion of those who are sitting in charge.
Fair.
And if you decide to say, well, no, fuck them. They don't get any protections, or I'll give them the protections for 45 days. They need to get their shit in order. That's where that lies. There's no.
I understand the judges can. They can go.
But
I'm simply telling people who are listening to this show.
So let me give you the raw deal. There's different aspects of the branch of government. The judicial, the executive, and so on. I have sat numerous times in Supreme Court, and I'm going to tell you something. They don't give a fuck who you are when you come into the Supreme Court. It's like the hand of God. If you get up to pee, they will lock your ass up and escort you out. I'm just trying to give you some game. So if they put it on paper, it is so. But when we talk about the executive branch, the one that sits over it all has the power to incite world war for at least 60 days without the vote of Congress.
Yeah.
So what I'm
or
saying to you is,
take over
regardless of what you're
Venezuela.
seeing in these amendments, if the one that's sitting up there in the House, if Uncle Daddy say, all right, fuck them, they don't get
Which
these
he's saying.
protections.
Yeah, that's what
He
he's
can
saying.
say it, and at least for 60 days until he gets the vote of
Yeah,
Congress.
we're not arguing. We're not arguing that Trump seems to do things extra constitutionally or extrajudicially.
Uncle Daddy
Seems to do things extrajudicially or break the law rampantly. We're trying to make sure that people do understand that those things that he is doing are against the text of the Constitution. So even if he is operating in practice as if the 14th Amendment doesn't say person, it does, in fact, say person. And we just want to make sure that everybody's aware so that they're properly enraged by the use of children as bait to break, to then violate the Constitution's Fourth Amendment protection against unreasonable search and seizure. And that they should be very pissed off. Like, for example, the people that Don Lemon was interviewing. So back to this. Don Lemon went to a church. This is an incredible story. Don Lemon goes to a church where he's going to cover a protest. Now, Don Lemon is a journalist nominally, and so he's there with a camera
Don
crew.
Lemon is a hoe.
Okay, well, he's also a journalist hoe. So he's there with his camera crew, and they're there to go and interview the people who are doing the protesting, right? And the people are protesting the abduction of children by ICE. Let's call it that, right? So then the Justice Department was not keen on this, and Justice Department Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, I like that part, right? Harmeet Dillon said on Monday that specifically she was calling out the ex-CNN journalist Don Lemon for his coverage of the event, and that they're going to pursue charges against him. In an interview on some show called The Benny Show, she said that, quote, journalism is not a shield from criminal conspiracy. And she accused him of a bunch of stuff. Here's a really my favorite part, though, right? Reach for response to Dillon's remarks. Lemon said in an email, quote, "It's notable that I've been cast as the face of a protest that I was covering as a journalist." He wasn't there protesting. He was covering the protest, especially since I wasn't the only reporter there. But you'd think he was. The framing is telling. What's even more telling is the barrage of violent threats along with homophobic and racist slurs directed at me online by MAGA supporters and amplified by parts of the right-wing press. So Lemon stood by his reporting. He said, look, I'm out here covering what's going on. And then it got even more ridiculous. Trump weighed in on the protest on his fake Twitter. He said after midnight on Tuesday, like a responsible adult, he called it a church raid by agitators and insurrectionists. They're troublemakers who should be thrown in jail or thrown out of the country, Uncle Daddy said in the Post. And then he called out Governor Walz and Ilhan Omar and, of course, his favorite people. Okay, but check this out, right? What law is Harmeet Dillon going to use to prosecute Don Lemon?
Of course, the Klan Act.
The Klan Act.
There you go.
The Klan Act, of course.
Dillon also mentioned the possibility of
any law that was introduced due to the end of slavery or to protect enslaved folks' rights as they come out of slavery will now be used against black folk. That's right. Move. That's the new move, clearly.
So she's going to use racism. The Klan Act of 1871 to prosecute a black journalist for using his First Amendment rights.
There's nothing new with that in regards to prosecuting black men.
We're very aware. It's just irony on top of irony. Yeah. Okay. Of course,
that's so let me address that for a second, right? We're in a world right now that, and I'm speaking for us in the West, that this country was founded on one of two things: the ability to excel beyond imagination, and to be a free thinker. So your thoughts are not your own at this point. Because if you think anything against whatever the machine is doing, you're a problem. I don't knock Don Lemon. He's trying to get back in good graces with whoever he was ostracized from, allegedly. That's his business. He won his check back. I get it. He was on NBC, CNBC, whatever the fuck NBC he was on. And whatever got him off, got him off. At the same time, he's trying to drive his own narrative and his coverage and to see that he's valuable, so potentially he can get him another fucking job. Cool. But I don't give a shit who you are. You have no business walking into people's space of worship. I promise you, and even now we talk about the Christians and their worship and places there. No one's really getting on the fact that you have the Islamic State having open worship wherever they are, and the modus of operandi is to insert Sharia law wherever they're practicing their religions are. So we look at the difference in where we are. We're here in the United States. So let's say you were in fucking Baghdad or Abu Dhabi on vacation, and you fall under Sharia law on some shit that you did, and you didn't mean any harm. You just trying to cover the story. You know these people will still lock your punk ass up or behead you in the middle of the goddamn city based on their law.
Okay, but we're not there, and Don Lemon was doing something that's legal and protected by the United States Constitution. And to your point about houses of worship, people shouldn't be going in there, including ICE. You should not be storming people's churches to go snatch their children to take them back to Guantanamo or wherever the fuck you're taking them. Well, so don't do that. Bad ICE.
My belief is this. If you have not done it properly, you do not have legal citizenship to be here, and you have not taken the oath, our laws don't apply to you. You're a criminal, potential criminal. So we can't have this conversation without addressing the multitude of things that have happened to homegrown American citizens that have happened to them, not allegedly, but factually, by illegal citizens. I have no problem with anyone in the world that want to come and get the American dream. Come get it. But be vetted. Don't be here on the auspices of that you have a party that's looking to exchange, excuse my French, niggas for niggas. Because the niggas have woken up and not willing to buy your brand because you don't benefit us. So now you put another nigga in place to prop up your votes, and we'll protect you based on the fact that you're here on us. Look at Minnesota. Minnesota is fucked up.
But it sounds like no one likes the economy, because you know what? If you here legally, none of these motherfuckers is going to pick the motherfucking greens. They're not going to pick the. So no one can. And no one's going to work. And you know what? We don't talk about that piece. No. That's the piece. That's what you know. And I find that to be economical catastrophe for this country. If we want to go that route, let's do that.
Listen to me.
But I agree. I agree with you, Romello. I think that people
go robbing for as much milk and honey as I can get to send it home to my people.
I agree that we should go after anybody who attacks homegrown Americans and deport them. And I think that I would love to find out which country we could send Tim McVeigh back to. Or you
put that motherfucker on Bird Island and let him just sit there. None.
Right. Yeah. So if you're an American and you harm other Americans, we're deporting you to where exactly?
Bird Island.
Bird Island. Got it.
It's
okay.
Just somewhere off in the motherfucking Pacific, and there's nothing there but water and coconuts.
Cool. So Lindsay Halligan, who was the pretend U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, she's out. She actually finally left.
She did
And
leave.
it was kind of a funny thing, right? Because she was appointed to this job, and then the courts ruled that she wasn't legal to hold that
Can
job.
I be honest?
Yeah.
Fuck her too. Send her to Bird Island.
She goes to Bird Island. Deport Lindsay Halligan. That's it. Off she goes.
There you
So
go.
she tried to be U.S. attorney, and then the courts were like, no, you were not appointed legally, and here's about 18 reasons why. And then she was like, no, I'm the U.S. attorney, and she kept like trying to U.S. attorney, and then she had all of her cases thrown out and vacated by the judges because they were like, no, you're not actually this. And then a bunch of judges, 2 judges in particular down in Richmond, wrote these like long scathing things about her. One of them was appointed by Trump, and one of the things
she
he
was
wrote
too. The point is, if you're gonna be in the midst of it, you got to play your fucking part. Stop writing. Lay back.
She got fired basically by the judges, and they said you're not legit. And then she finally bowed to the pressure and she left. And I don't know what she's going to do. I assume she'll go back to working in the White House someplace or being an insurance lawyer or whatever it is that she was beforehand. But
So
yeah, she's out finally.
So let me explain my position. As a black man, I don't have a fight and a dog in the fight. I can cast a vote all day long. And honestly, I'm still operating under my own fruition. Whatever comes down the pipe, I got to receive it. My opinion is just that. And regardless of what people may feel, even in Minnesota, all skinfolk ain't kinfolk. And them big head, bobblehead motherfuckers up there, they're not related to me. And yeah, they should go back home because they came here and took advantage of situations that were available to us as true, solid standing Americans. So to even go back to this individual down in Richmond, you know what? Bird Island for her too, and anyone that looks like her. I got a son that's been serving for a long goddamn time. And he's the same in the equivalent of any guy that has stand or stood on the wall down there at Gitmo. They do the very thing that, old boy said, that we are able to sleep comfortable at night. I'm not knocking anyone that stands for us here. I don't give a fuck about anybody else that comes over here on a fucking boat. It's us first. Because we don't have our own house together, there's no way we could ever extend anyone or anything to anyone else. Because
nobody's ever come here on a boat and made America better.
You better know it. They come here even down to the person who is in the house that stated, hey, listen, my loyalty is to Somalia, not these people. The president in Somalia and Tim Walz, he's a retard. The fact that he'd even go to the extent of changing up the flag of Minnesota to resemble Somalian flags. I have a problem with that.
I don't know what that's about. I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, you need to go and look, because trust me, that flag has changed. It's not what it used to look like. It's nothing like it used to look like. Yeah.
Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We've come to we need to hit a break anyway. So we're gonna hit a break. And then we'll come back with the Tez talk while we research Minnesota flags.
Please do.
And we'll be right back. Yeah, you're listening to ChipChat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
Bonjour, est-ce que je peux vous aider?
Sorry, I don't speak French. I'm just visiting.
Well, then welcome to Canada's Eastern Townships. Where are you visiting from?
I'm American.
Ah, okay.
something I did, playing tackle football. He's afraid to get hit, put him in basketball. We tried to practice his first game 3 motherfucking times. He shot in the wrong basket. Oh no, I still love him. That won't ever stop. I just might love him more if he had a jump shot. Oh, my son is not good at sports. My son is not good at sports. He don't got no arm. His handles are trash. Can't beat my jeans. I'm so fucking mad.
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
I hate all these damn AI songs, but that one is so that one is so dark. Is the pain. My son is not good at sports. I'm sorry.
I mean, you know,
the pain in the song.
the pain, that shines through the humanity of it.
Hey, wait until you hear the second verse. So,
Oh
hey.
God.
Oh, is that the
Oh,
next
no.
break? Okay. All right, Tez. So tell us, well, Brian, hit the thing with the sound and all that stuff. We don't even have it.
I was like,
There
we
we
still
go.
do that. We still do that. All right, this one here. I mean, number one, this was already alleged, as that's our favorite word today, this episode here. But this was alleged months ago, right? Where Doge, obviously, for the first 6 months of the year, I think it's about 6 months, you know, they were top shots here in the federal district of Washington, D.C. And obviously they were accessing a lot of data. Well, now it's obviously been reported in court filings that they did access sensitive shared data, specifically everyone's social security data.
Yeah, you know,
nothing
the
too
stuff
crazy.
that's fine for 19-year-olds to have access to.
And whistleblowers raised these concerns months ago, right? That there's a potential that this was happening, but in the court filings, it's been proven. So this happened on Friday. And it's between Doge and the Social Security Administration. They discovered a secret agreement between Doge employees and an unidentified political advocacy group. That sounds fun. And the agreement called for sharing Social Security data with the aim of overturning election results in certain states, according to the filing. This is in the filing. I'm not just making
Right.
but shit up.
Now let's just, to be clear, people can file anything they want in court. It doesn't make it true, but
right.
We'll see where this goes.
We'll see where it goes. But I mean, it's a damning allegation that's there. And I mean, I think beyond this, right, the amount of data they had access to, even for, I mean, it wasn't really a limited time, it was a decent amount of time. I mean, what does that look like going forward? But also in this article, they talk about it running foul, like the Privacy Act, right? Where government employees should only be able to access like your sensitive data, like for specific reasons, like very direct reasons. But I mean, this country doesn't have a data privacy law. And we see this with our data already. Everyone knows the only thing you get in the mail nowadays is something saying that, hey, your data has been leaked and we'll offer you a free year of creditreport.com or whatever the fuck it is. And maybe you'll get you $7 in a check for whatever class action lawsuit that happens. But I don't know. I mean, again, it's not that surprising. I think what'll be more surprising is how is this used going forward? Because like our data tells the whole story about us and what we do, and specifically, obviously, your social security number. So I don't know. Good luck, everybody. Again, there'll be a fourth. What was in the headlines? There'll be a fourth Grindr account that's opened up under your name.
Yeah, right. I think that okay, so to the point about the court filings, right? That was the DOJ that admitted to the existence of this agreement. So if they're filing that in court, I mean, are they lying on themselves or are they?
I don't know. Right?
Yeah, I think they got caught essentially. So that's probably real. And I would imagine, whenever there's a conversation, there's two sides of it, right? So if one side leaks it, the other one either has to close that loop or deny it. So whoever this organization is, I haven't heard anything. And then there's also the question about whether the Hatch Act was violated, where you're not to use your federal office for political reasons, but that's, we know that the Hatch Act is toothless because it's the executive that has to bring the charges, and when they're the ones who are doing the Hatch acting. And then but then there's this other stuff, right? The agency also acknowledged for the first time that Doge members had shared the data with each other using unsanctioned third-party service that Social Security officials had been unable to access. So, let's say in the best of circumstances, they were using, say, a Dropbox or something to send big files to each other because they didn't have the way to do it through their system. That means that it wasn't secure the whole time. And if anybody who wants that data, even if the Doge guys were doing their best to maintain their security on their end and they weren't doing anything nefarious, that moment, that gap, that time while it was transferring through unsecured servers, it was vulnerable. And could have intercepted, copied it, or whatever.
If it's on Dropbox, what if Dropbox has a breach?
Or what if Dropbox happens to be, secretly running a bunch of code for an adversary?
And it has happened.
And has happened. Yeah. Right. Dropbox has had breaches. iPhones had breaches. Everything's had breaches.
Yeah.
So it's just not secure. And then this other part of that is that the officials can't access it. So nobody can go back and check. Okay. I mean, we already knew that giving 20-year-olds access to the government was a bad idea.
10 years they'll be issuing new social security numbers. All of us.
Yeah. Instead of getting those mail about your class action lawsuits, you're going to be getting one about come in for your appointment to get a new social security number.
Yeah, because you clearly are going to have to come in.
Oh, yeah. How else are they going to believe that you're you? And how are you going to prove that you're you?
Moonshot government. We're going to spend all this money to try to, instead of trying to fix all the other issues, we're going to have to figure out how we get millions of people into offices to get new social security.
If you think about how, how often people get new credit card numbers, right? Because your credit card
all the time.
Yeah, your credit card, you get a email or a letter from, Visa, and they're like, hey, your credit card was compromised. We found the stuff. We put a stop to it. Here's your new card. Off you go. That happens a lot. It's happened to me several times. It's happened to you several times, I'm sure.
I probably have it probably in my mail stack right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And so now imagine that happening with Social Security cards of 350 million Americans. Every couple months, you got to get a new one.
There'll be a price to pay for all of this shit. I mean, in multiple ways, but this feels like it's something 10 years from now. You'll see the downstream effects of this. We'll feel the brunt of it. So that should be fun.
Weather news update. Ted Cruz was seen heading for the airport. So watch out.
Here I come.
About to get very cold.
Yeah.
All right. You wanna take a break before we go talk about Greenland? Brian's got the second half of the song he wants to play.
Oh, that's true. I forgot we have the second half. So
just go to Greenland.
Oh,
he wants to go. He just wants to go home. Exactly. Go to Greenland.
All right. We're gonna go to Greenland next. I mean, not literally, because it's cold as shit there.
Soon I'll be able to go there.
And soon we'll be able to go to our own country, the 51st state. So let's start off with something.
It's our favorite time, globe time.
It's time for the globe. Let's talk about something that I think a lot of Americans in particular are very confused about. if
The
you
Fifth
look
Amendment or the
the Fifth Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the word person, man, woman, camera, TV, there's a lot of things to be confused about. Maritime law. We're all having a good time. Okay. So if you are a person who is used to looking at the world on a flat map, right? And you're in America.
Flat map.
Yes. If you're in America, probably the map that you're looking at is what's called a Mercator projection. And it's named after a guy named Mercator. I think he was a German dude. And one of the things about taking a round object like a globe and flattening it out onto a rectangle is that some stuff's got to give, right? Some stuff's going to stretch and some stuff's going to shrink as you take this round. Because if you took the round thing and kind of like unfolded it, right, it doesn't go flat. So the parts of it that don't go flat, you got to squeeze together, or you got to stretch all the other parts to pull it out there. So the Mercator projection, being drawn by Europeans, stretches out the northern hemisphere like a lot in a way that is really, really confusing to a lot of people. And the thing that gets most distorted is Greenland. Okay. So if you look on this map, this is a globe, right? This is a real globe. And on the globe, you're going to see this little pink guy there. That's Greenland. Okay. You see it?
Yes.
Okay. And then you see this big giant continent here.
Yes.
That's Africa.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a whole continent. It takes up like the whole surface of the globe. If you're in space and you're looking down, you're going to see the whole continent of Africa. Like, it's big. But on a Mercator projection, Greenland is as big as Africa, which is crazy. It's not as big as Africa. It's not even as big as like Algeria.
Right.
There's Greenland. There's another little pink guy. That's Algeria. You see that? That's wild. So that's kind of the thing about when people are like, oh, Greenland's really big. Yeah. It's big. Like
it's not,
the way Texas is big, but it's not big the way like a continent is big. So let's just get that out of the way. Okay.
It's not Australia.
It's not Australia, which is a very big island full of a bunch of nothing and very sparsely populated, much like Greenland, except that it's full of, what's the word? White people. Some of them, anyway.
Some.
Who didn't go there on purpose.
No.
They were deported there, from Ireland, a lot of them.
Yes.
Yeah. If there's one thing the British are good at.
Yeah, the British are good.
They're good at sailing around and fucking shit up. They're great at that. So anyway, okay. So Greenland, much like the British, had some boats land on it at some point. And then the people who landed there decided that Greenland was theirs. And those people were called Vikings. And it was many, many years ago. And they kind of ignored or maybe never ran into the people that were already there. Who are Inuit people. They're share an ethnicity with like people in northern Canada and Alaska and Native American folks there. So there's only about 57,000 of them. It's a relatively small population. They live in really isolated places and they're all by the coast. Most of the island is totally unpopulated and it's all covered in glaciers for now. But
for now.
Not for very long.
Not for long.
Yeah.
But for now.
So earlier this week, this is how fast breaking this is, right? Earlier this week, Trump sent this, Uncle Daddy sent this text message. I think it was a text message to the Prime Minister of Norway, who is a guy named Jonas Gahr Støre. I think I'm not saying that right.
Close enough.
The Jonas part I know I got right.
Yeah.
So that Trump didn't win the Nobel. And unlike
he has one.
But he has one. The Nobel Prize is handed out in Sweden, with the exception of the Peace Prize, which is handed out by the Norwegian Nobel Committee. Okay, not the Swedish Nobel Committee, but not the Norwegian government, and very definitely not Prime Minister Jonas. But that didn't stop Trump. He wrote him this letter, and the letter is remarkable. It how do you say this? He threatens World War III. He says, quote, considering your country decided not to give me the Nobel Peace Prize, which the country doesn't give, for having stopped 8 wars plus. I like that he's, the 8 wars plus. He's got that.
It's like Disney Plus, Apple Plus,
Yeah.
CNN Plus. I think that died, but
Right. I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace.
It's crazy. It's just so.
Although it will always be predominant, I can now think about what is good and proper for the U.S.
Oh, now.
Well, for now.
Yeah.
That's a pretty scary thing to say.
But he kept, but it didn't stop. That's the thing. This was scary, and then as we'll continue on through this segment.
He continues on. He went on to say that Denmark could not protect Greenland from Russia or China. And he questioned, quote, why do they have a right to ownership anyway? He's talking to another country about a third country.
Yeah.
Right. What do they have? Why do they have a right to ownership anyway? Okay. They don't own it's a territory of, but okay. There are no written documents. It's only that a boat landed there hundreds of years ago, but we had boats landing there also. So Donald Trump thinks that the United States existed 500 years ago and was sailing to Greenland, which it didn't. Also, he didn't type that letter in Iroquois.
I was going to say, I would love to see the letter the Native Americans talking about Jamestown. And this
the translation into the original Cherokee.
Yeah. And this Jamestown they talk of. What do
you mean is Jamestown? This allegedly. Just because you sailed a boat here and landed here doesn't mean you get to keep this land. And the John Smith was like, shut up, Indian. And he shot him with a gun because he's a savage.
In the north,
John Smith is not the
Smith,
Indian.
Yeah.
Shooting people for talking to you is a behavior of a savage.
It's behavior of a savage. Yeah, and I feel like our friends up by the Plymouth Rock were more like they have wooden shoes.
Yeah, what are they doing? What's shoes?
Why
do they have shoes? What's wrong with the ground?
Why would they be wooden?
Yeah, what's right? Why do they all look alike? That's another question I have to ask. It's almost as if they've come from an island that's very sparsely populated and may have been yeah. All right, so after threatening World War III to the Norwegians, he goes on, right? He's like, I've done more for NATO than any other person since its founding, and now NATO should do something for the United States. I don't know.
He has done more for NATO. He has done the most to NATO to try to destroy the alliance. He's done he's right.
He has done a lot to NATO.
A lot to NATO.
Yeah, it's a different preposition. The world is not secure unless we have complete and total control of Greenland, he concluded. The whole world depends on whether Uncle Daddy gets Greenland.
I thought we weren't worried about the world. I thought it was America first. But
we're threatening the world.
Yeah,
Either you give us Greenland, or there will be World War III and we can't stop it, or we will make sure there's World War III because we're not thinking very much about peace anymore. You know, the sort of things that are calming to hear from a president with his finger on a button. Okay, so let's just address that very briefly. To the question of like the Russians and the Chinese being involved in Greenland, sure, it's surrounded by international waters. They might be there. Guess who else is there? Us. And if you're so worried,
everything he wants, we already have the ability.
We already have, right? If he wants bases there, we already have an agreement that says we can build as many bases there as we want. He wants then, and if it's like, hey, you want minerals or whatever, you already have an agreement that says you can go do that. You can buy their minerals if you want or whatever. And to the NATO question, right? I think we talked about this a little last week, that like, if you think that Russians are like screwing around up by Greenland and you think that that's a security concern, which sure it is, go do something about it. They're a NATO country. They're not going to stop you. Go sail a fucking submarine.
You're the commander in chief.
Yeah. And torpedo their Ruski ass or whatever. You know, there was a time when people would be like, well, the Soviets only understand force. Okay. Well, go do it. We won the Cold War, not by like standing around and talking about affordability as a hoax. No, we won the Cold War by exposing every time the Soviets lied about shit and did nefarious, fucked up shit, and then, you know, broadcasting CNN into their borders. And they were all like, what do you mean the Americans don't wait in line for bread? And then that was it. That's so, like, if you think the Russians are up to something, go there. You're so ready to send guys from Alaska to Minnesota. You can send them to Russia. It's closer.
Get out of here with the rules-based order is over, as our friends in the North said. And I mean, I don't want to believe that, but yeah, I think
Carney's right. He said it. Right. Yeah, he said that there's the rules-based order is over, and it's now might makes right. Okay.
This puts the world into a tricky, because I don't think globalization has already started, and I don't think there's no way to bottle that back up. Now, I think there's ways you could go about this a little bit differently. I think there's a method that we could go about it, but everybody made a bet years ago, and you allowed China, like that's settled, right? I mean, even years before that, let's go back to friggin' Nixon, right? And just like cooling the relationship with China, because again, I think we like to start from 10 years ago, 15, but this stuff has been in play for but the problem is what Uncle Daddy's trying to do is he's trying to just upset it all. And you don't know what the world looks like after that. And I don't think any of us will be happy with that. And I know many of us probably, many towns throughout America could look at me and be like, yo, we weren't happy with what happened over the last 30 years, to be honest. Because you guys want fucking cheap fucking TVs, and now we don't have a fucking you want fucking $250 55-inch TVs, and now we don't have a fucking town anymore. The rusted out plants and shit. So yeah, maybe we could have went about this a little bit differently. There's a more delicate way we should have went about this. But what's gonna happen now when you have Canada making deals? I mean, China is now actually going to eat our lunch.
Yeah.
Like it's certain.
Once they started on the path to modernization, just by their sheer size, there's no way to stop that.
Which is fine. Yes, and there is no way to stop that, but you don't go about it this way.
They could have been on our team.
Exactly, man. There's just like
it could have been all of us doing this together, and instead it's not. And the people who are on our team, the Europeans, are now not on our team. So we have no teammates left.
In China, and again, the way they're able to do this is their style of government, right? I understand that piece, but they're beating us in the areas that we really need to win. And
energy production, electric cars.
That's what all of these things. But everybody here would tell you, oh, we need to win the AI race. Well, we can't win the AI race if that's the race you really want to win, right? All right, fine. I'll go down that path with you.
Can't do it without electricity.
If you can't win it, if you don't win the energy race. And it's like, wait, what? Even the oil companies, I think that's what we talked about last week, right? They know that this isn't a winning strategy. And we just set ourselves back again for 15, 20 years.
It's also
it might be too late.
It's also a size thing that Americans kind of can't comprehend. Think about the size of the largest city in the United States, right? Yeah. New York City is it's like 12 million people or something like that.
Yeah.
15 maybe on a good day if you count the metro area. Do you know the size of like Beijing or Shanghai or like Guangzhou or any of these
Let's
kind
give
of
it to you.
like
Shanghai, 25 million people.
25 million
In
people.
Shanghai. And
That's not even a big city. What's Beijing?
Oh God,
40 million?
It has to, at the bare minimum. I would almost go to maybe 50 million people, probably. Hold on, Beijing, and what do we got here?
This is riveting radio.
This is riveting radio as we look up. Hold on, why am I not getting the population?
Population of Beijing.
There we go. We are. God gracious, I'm getting so many carryouts.
What is? Let's type population of Beijing.
I thought I would get that on just Beijing, like I did with Shanghai. All right, and we have population. Sorry, I'm on population census for 2020. Here we go. Oh, God gracious, there's too many populations. They're breaking this down via metro and via municipality on here. Sorry,
just
guys.
The metro.
Just metro. 22.
Okay. So
20, just metro.
So even the small cities in China are twice the size of the big cities in America. The size of China alone is absolutely massive. And Americans are not ready for there's 350 million of us and there's 1.3 billion of them. There are almost 4 times as many of them as there are of us. 4 times. Okay, that's a lot. And you're not going to Tez's point, you're not going to put that back in the bottle. Those same people, they want the same things that you want, and they're going to get them. And you could either go with them to the store or you can try to fight them on their way to the store, but they're going to the store. And in this metaphor, the store is you.
Yeah. And the form of government allows them to do things completely different. And again, I'm not agreeing and saying that's where we need to go with it. It seems like we're moving that way. But yeah, like the way they're able to build, whether it's train and transit systems or cities, but they have their issues as well too. Right? I mean, from like housing, there are issues that they have to deal with.
But in terms of like whether globalization is going to stop, the answer is no. No. And then in terms of whether this alienating your friends and the people who you do have a lot in common with culturally and historically and in terms of rules-based world order, it seems like a bad move. It seems like a bad move.
You called this, I mean, last year in the beginning of this, is that they'll work around us, and
they will. And guess what? Guess what was happening earlier this week while Trump was sending these stupid text messages to the Norwegians? Where were all the European leaders? Do you know where they were?
I'm not in Davos. You're saying prior to them going to Davos.
Yeah, but before Davos, where was everybody?
Were they in China?
No, they were in Paraguay. You know why they were in Paraguay? They were signing a free trade agreement with the entire continent of South America.
Oh, because I had seen people, I didn't look into it to confirm. People were trying to say that they joined BRICS, but that's not what happened.
No. The Europeans were in Paraguay signing a whole new free trade deal for Europe and Paraguay. Now the European Parliament has blocked this deal, but it's worth $100 billion.
That's huge.
Yeah. So, they will go around us.
They'll go around.
And they are. So, all right. So earlier in the week, he's sending this thing and he's like yelling at the Europeans. And then by yesterday, he says this crazy thing. He gives a speech at Davos.
His speech is menacing.
The speech is crazy. First of all, it goes on for about 2 hours. And he mistakenly switches Iceland and Greenland a bunch of times. And he does this thing that he's kind of famous for. He does this like little toss-offs where he's like, the markets got riled by me talking about Iceland, so I got to calm down and stop talking about Iceland. Okay, we're not going to attack Iceland. There, you happy? Can you go back to making money in the stock market? And nobody was like, it's Greenland. And he was like, what? Greenland? I've never heard of it. He does these things where he realizes the markets have made a correction on him, and he has to like settle that
It's
by
the
saying,
only
okay,
thing. It's literally and it doesn't always work.
no, because
But for
now he wants $5 billion from Jamie Dimon.
That was a crazy thing. I mean,
He's gonna regret that one.
That's not
I
gonna work.
guarantee he's gonna regret that one.
Not gonna work for him.
Yeah,
it's just not. Ugh.
So in the midst of all of this, then he ends his like wild speech where he's threatening, several world wars, and he's like, you should thank me. He even goes so far as to tell the Europeans, if it weren't for America, you'd be speaking German and maybe a little Japanese.
Crazy.
Without realizing that Germany is in Europe. And then, of course, they're speaking German, and so are the Swiss, and so are the Austrians, by the way, because that's their native language. And maybe you could say the Czechs are too, depending on how you want to count that. Okay, guy. So, and maybe a little Japanese. I mean, come on. So then he ends it, and he goes, oh, yeah, we've got a framework for a Greenland deal. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, I've been hanging out with Mark Rutte, the NATO secretary. And they're like, I thought you hated NATO. And he's like, I do. But this guy, Mark, he told me I'm great and that my hands were big. And so I made a deal with him. And everybody's like, well, what's the deal? And he's like, I can't tell you. It's the framework of a deal. We don't have a deal. We have a framework of a deal. It's like a concept of a plan.
He gave itself an off ramp again.
Right. And then he just like, and I think from what I understand, this deal is like, you can build American bases in Greenland that can have American flags on them, not just Greenland.
That's it. Yeah.
Flags.
Yeah.
So he's going to be like, look, see, we own a little piece of Greenland, and it's all because of my great leadership.
I forgot the British have something similar to this somewhere, where it's a territory on one, like the bases become actual U.S.
Well,
territory.
Diego Garcia, I think, is the one in the Indian Ocean where it's this island that the Brits own. Yeah. That's in a big American naval base, and but it's a British or territory or whatever. Yeah, it's an off ramp, right? But it is also like very clearly yet another example where the markets have to correct him, and where we have to put our faith in the Uber capitalism, not to use a German word to describe it, to put him back, into some semblance of order. It's a crazy thing.
I always said with him, the only two things that'll end up saving us from him when it all goes to shit will be either the banks and or China, because China's gonna be like, we kind of need you guys to exist.
Because they need us to buy their shit.
Yeah.
All right. Before we take a break for Brian to get to play his second half of his thing, unless he's going to overrule us.
I know he might override us and say, keep going.
I texted you guys earlier this week that like in the Lisa Cook story or SCOTUS issue, that we are once again putting our fate in the hands of Paul Clement. And that doesn't feel good to say. It feels bad to say. Paul Clement is the famous Bush Solicitor General who gave us all of the great things like Guantanamo and all of that stuff. Citizens United, for example. So again, it's you're saying the same thing, right? China, come and save us. Paul Clement, come and save us. What a backward world we live in. But yeah. The Supreme Court doesn't want to touch the Lisa Cook stuff.
No, they'll not touch that. I mean, he'll lose there. He'll lose.
Or they'll kick it back. They'll kick it back to the lower courts and say you need to define what cause is. And
then he'll try to. I hope it's more. I hope they carve it out a little more than that. I mean, Kavanaugh's response Jesus Christ, it was pretty spot on. I don't know. I don't really want me to say it was.
Well, he asks an important question. Are you saying that the president alone can determine what cause is and that there's no relief, that there's no way for anybody to interrogate it, and the courts themselves can't even look at this? And Solicitor General Sauer was like, yeah, that's what we're saying. And Kavanaugh is like, by that order or by that metric, he could just make up anything he wants and just, be careful because it can come back the other way. And I could see a new president coming in 29 and sacking every single person that Trump puts on there. And, is that really what we want? And that came from Beer Can Brett.
But the problem is, and I think this is the larger issue we're not going to address, is that voters, and let's just be specific, Democratic voters, whenever this flips, is not going to be like, all right, everybody, let's go back to let's do this. Let's push all the norms back into the box. Let's redefine. No, they're going to be angry and they're going to say, no, I want you to use every tactic that the Republican president used to inflict, and that's what worries me, right? Because it's different almost if you're trying to enact law from the executive branch using executive orders. But if it then becomes that you're trying to actually inflict like harm and pain on like the other side, which is being done right now, right? And if that gets flipped, I mean, then you're in this weird pendulum swing that like whenever it goes, we're just gonna, and this doesn't work that way, man. Like I know it'll feel good in the moment, right? Because you'll feel, but it doesn't work that way. And you almost, I know you say there's no moderates, but you almost need folks who are like, all right, we need to redefine rules here and not make them these gentleman handshakes, right? But like,
no, you need hard and fast. But I honestly see Reconstruction 2.0. It is what has to happen.
That's what should happen.
Yeah,
that's what should happen. But we have to include all of America.
Yes.
That's the only way you can't do Reconstruction because people might want to, even though like they'll have their quarrels with how they were able to get those votes, right? Those amendments are voted on by they're ratified, and granted, it's by like the bayonet to these people. Like, you will not be admitted back into the union unless you ratify this.
Yeah, I mean, growing up in Virginia, the way we learned about Reconstruction was that this was the damn Yankees punishing us
the worst times
for having seceded, and that they spent the 10 years or 15 years after the war stealing everything that we could make and carrying it off up north,
carpetbaggers and the scallywags.
Yeah, that's what we were taught about. So it can't, but you can't do anything
somewhat
that can,
true in certain areas.
But you can't enact that kind of retribution in a way that, or even anything that resembles it, so that it can't be framed that way. You have to take away the lost cause narrative.
I also think this Reconstruction thing would be good to get the American population back into like the
civics aspect of it.
Civics aspect of this. Like, hey, y'all, we about to go to the damn MCI Center for whatever convention we're about to hold or whatever, and we're about to sit down there, be delegates. Like, I mean, this feels like this shit used to happen. And we're
and it was citizen participation in creating and growing government. Yeah. And I would love to be a new constitutional delegate or whatever.
I think you could really like. I mean, I think there could be some good to that. We got to have folks.
You think I'd be a good delegate for the new constitutional convention?
As a delegate, yes. I mean, yeah, your voice should be heard on that. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Yeah.
First order of business: eject Ohio from the union.
See, exactly. And now I have to take away. I know.
Knew it. You knew it. Such a setup. All right, let's go down. Let's go down to Mar-a-Lago. I don't think Brian wants to play his break song.
No.
So down in Mar-a-Lago, the American Humane Society had a annual Hero Dog Awards gala. And so one of the things you should know about Mar-a-Lago, apart from that it's where Trump lives most of the time, it's also like this, venue that people can rent out to do whatever. So the American Humane Society rented out the venue. And they hosted like a big party for the people, and some
like non-actual Humane Society.
The American Humane Society, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, they're doing it because they want Trump's blessing to, not. They're trying to hide the puppies from Kristi Noem is what they're doing, and they figured if they bring them to Mar-a-Lago, she can't shoot them there because they don't.
I would say the opposite.
Oh, they were
Florida?
bringing the puppies there for her to shoot. No, that's not sporting. They have to give a chance to run. Yeah. Well, they did bring some puppies. So, Brian, I don't know if you have the image, but there were some non-humans in attendance here at Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, these are furries. These are people wearing 18th century like Marie Antoinette gowns and Louis the 16th tights.
Someone said we're in the Hunger Games. I don't know enough about the Hunger Games to know what that means, but I agree.
Yeah, right.
I agree.
Me too.
Sounds like it.
So
the party is the elite are having these parties with dog masks on while people are being shot in their cars.
That is true. I think that's in that movie or books. I don't know.
Yeah, both.
Yeah, I didn't read it, but
neither.
That sounds right. So you know how like the Fox News people, they were very into furries a few years ago. What were they worried about?
Clearly they're into Fox. Clearly they're into furries. Clearly.
I hate that I walked into that.
You're gonna tell me that Fox is in the furries? Yes,
they're Fox.
They're Fox.
Okay, but they were very into this idea that kids were furries and that they were doing what?
What was this again? Yeah, this was a big thing.
Yeah, they were very worried about kids dressing up as animals and doing what in school?
I don't know. I was going to say having sex, but kids don't do that anymore.
No. They were worried about something else, though, that does involve, like naughty bits.
Or
pants, being without pants.
Running around naked with these furry things on?
No. They were very worried about bathrooms, and they were specifically convinced themselves that these kids were asking for litter boxes to be placed in the back of classrooms so they could shit in the litter box.
Your kids were doing this.
Kids were not doing this. This did not happen anywhere. But
some
Fox
kid said this and said pass along, and it made it to Fox News.
No, Fox News generated this almost entirely on their own. Basically, they go, oh, these kids, furries. And then they go, what next? Trans kids are, they want to use the bathroom of their gender. Yeah, well, what if they wanted to use I say they identify as a cat and they want to use a litter box in the back of the classroom, and school's going to have to make that happen. And then like an hour later on Fox, they're going to be like, yeah, I heard about them using litter boxes in the back of the class. And then by, 2 hours later, they're like,
not a person.
We're reporting that kids are asking for litter boxes in the back of classrooms, and then they were reacting to it. Can you believe your kids want to shit in a box? And none of it was true. They completely made this up on their own and terrified themselves about it, which was very funny. So those very same people are dressed up as furries parading around Mar-a-Lago. So, hooray.
Fresh steps.
It's don't litter.
No, not.
All right. So then this one here is called a whole new kind of labor. So you know that there's still a Department of Labor?
What?
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be able to send my kid to work.
Nobody works there anymore. And they just published some BLS numbers for November today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We got some pricing numbers and another inflation measure from November, because of the shutdown.
I thought it was lagging indicators, not lagging data. It's crazy what's going on.
That's an economics nerd joke.
Fucking marketplace joke.
Yeah. This is why nobody talks to us at parties.
Oh God. Oh no, especially now me reading this damn American Democracy book. I'm a menace walking around Yeah, I'm walking around in the 13th. Do you know really like the actual democracy in this country is based on the townships and no one wants to talk to me. I go to the library after work and just sit there by myself and read. It's the only acceptable place I can be where other people will not judge me for reading a 700-page book.
Oh my God.
People with powder wigs on the front. I hate reading it out.
I told you Tocqueville had a relatively negative opinion of what he saw.
I don't know if it's negative. I don't think it's. I find it very down the middle. It's not negative. It's not even. It's not positive. It's a report. That's what it is. I found it very interesting. He's wrong on a lot of stuff, but he's right. But what he's right on, he's right.
Yeah,
like, that's the problem. He's wrong on some things, but you can't see the future. So I get it.
All right, so let's talk about the Department of Labor. There's nominally a Secretary of Labor. Her name is Lori Chavez DeRemer. Sounds pretty foreign. High. Wonder what country she's from. And yeah, but what I mean, she seems pretty cool. Tez, what's she into?
She's taking people out to strip clubs, right?
Yeah. She likes hanging out and drinking in her office and going to strip clubs.
This boss sounds cool.
Yeah.
Not on government money, though. You need to do some private money.
She did it with the government money because they filed a bunch of expense reports for their trip to the strip joint. The investigation
puts that in the expense report? I mean, I guess you have to, but you got to code it as something else. Chicken wings or something.
She fired, I think, her chief of staff for having done this, but let's see here.
Following the rules.
Yeah. The investigation also confirmed this is an IG investigation. Did you know they still have IGs?
What?
Confirmed
Labor Department and they have an IG. It's crazy.
Yeah. Confirmed rumors that she pursued, quote, an inappropriate relationship with an underling and were discussed internally months ago and dismissed that allegation was internally discussed and dismissed by her chief of staff, Ji-Hoon Han, who was put on leave Monday along with his deputy, Rebecca Wright, because, they squashed that investigation. The Post, the New York Post, first exposed a bombshell complaint that alleged that Secretary Chavez DeRemer, who's 57 in that picture, had also committed, quote, travel fraud by having Han and Wright, quote, make up official trips, was drinking in her office during the workday and enabling a hostile work environment with her top aides belittling and bullying staffers. Now, that's just standard Trump operation, right?
But also, too, if you're going to be a drunk at work, be a happy one, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Be like Pete Hegseth.
Yeah.
The interviews also uncovered a previously unreported incident involving Chavez DeRemer allegedly taking subordinates to an Oregon strip club in April of 2025, per three of the sources and records reviewed by the paper. The April 18th visit, that's my anniversary. Yeah.
A new place to visit.
It's new tradition. We're going to Angels PDX, which I guess is by the airport. It's named after the airport, right? PDX is the airport. Yeah, outside Portland. Came on the tail end of a 5-day trip to meet the state's Democratic governor, the CEO of a truck manufacturing company, and a tour of an Intel chip center and a view of an ironworker project. I wonder what kind of metal those guys were working on. Poles. Maybe a pole, perhaps?
Poles, perhaps.
Okay. Secretary Chavez DeRemer. Also, her husband's like some sort of big deal, and he was doing some stuff. Let's see. Travel vouchers show the taxpayers forked over $2,890.06 in total.
That's cheap based on what's been going on.
Yeah, well, let's see. Only $188.35 for a, quote, miscellaneous expenses. I mean, they're Portland strippers. They're not. No. It's not. You're not paying East Coast prices.
That's fair.
It's the Pacific Northwest. You probably paid them in granola bars. You don't have to pay the strippers in Portland. They naked bike ride to work. They're already naked when they get there. All right, this one's called Grift R Us. Just very briefly, there's this stupid peace council that he's set up to, like,
the board of peace
or whatever. Yeah, the Board of Peace. Guess how much it costs to join the Board of Peace?
A cool $1 million.
No, that's
20?
crazy. $1 billion. A whole $1 billion. For $1 billion, you can be on the Board of Peace and decide what's peace in the Middle East.
I thought you had to not practice peace to join this, actually.
Well, look who's on the list.
There's a peacemaker if I've ever seen one.
There you go. It's not known whether Israeli Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu has accepted the offer to join, if he has or not accepted the offer to join the peace board or whatever. But don't worry, Russia, Belarus, Slovenia, Thailand, and the European Union's executive arm were also among the latest to receive invitations, but we don't know yet, right? Trump said that he was inviting, the best of the best, and he was going to try to get, all of the people who really know things to solve this, and it's going to be great, and he's going to put a resort and all that stuff. France does not plan to join the Board of Peace, quote, at this stage, despite receiving an invitation. French officials close to Macron said Monday, the issue is raising questions, particularly with regard to respect for the principles and structure of the UN and, everything else. Let's see. Macron said that he was unlikely to join, and they asked Trump about it, and he's like, well, nobody wants him because he's going to be out of office very soon anyway. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He goes, I'll put 200% tariff on his wines and champagnes and he'll join, but he doesn't have to join. What a sentence. Morocco's King Mohammed, the sixth, has accepted a spot. Okay. I mean, he, does okay. Becoming the first Arab leader, at least the fifth world leader to join. Vietnam, Kazakhstan, Hungary, and Argentina have also signed on. The paragon of human rights. Vietnam and Hungary and the chainsaw guy in Argentina. Trump's mad that Kazakhstan's there. He's trying to deport them from their own country. Russian President Vladimir Putin received an invitation. The Kremlin
is such a crazy quote.
Studying the details and will seek clarity of, quote, all the nuances in context with the U.S.
It's it makes sense though, because almost it's kind of like a confusion. Like, are we supposed to join this?
Yeah, are we supposed to just politely decline so that we can say that we were invited? I don't understand this. Don't worry though, Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko, this guy, what a guy! He's ready to take part, according to the country's foreign ministry. The Thai foreign ministry says that it was invited and reviewing the details. Of course, it depends how spicy the Americans really want this. If they want mild, medium, and medium is not like gringo medium. You got to be like a little careful when you have the Thai delegation there. Trump doesn't like, ketchup is spicy for him. Yeah. European Commission spokesperson Olaf Gill, what a name, said that Ursula von der Leyen, the president of the commission, would be speaking with EU leaders about Gaza. Gill didn't say whether the invitation would be accepted, but the commission, quote, wants to contribute to comprehensive plans to end the Gaza conflict. The Israelis shot a bunch of people in Gaza today.
I was like, we're talking about this, and the fucking people are still getting killed.
Yeah.
Massacred. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. It's going great.
We'll just build over the dead bodies, clearly.
We'll just build right over it. Just plow them into the dirt and
the great foundation.
Concrete right over top of it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Why does this sound like another bad Trump promotion?
I don't know, Brian. Why does it sound like that?
I just want, because I need clarification because
everything is that. It's a fucking grift where he's selling their European Trump gold bars or whatever. Like, why to join the Board of Peace? It's only going to cost you $1 billion. It's $1 billion.
And then you have no money. You have no money to give to Gaza because you've given it all to him.
A $1 billion contribution secures permanent membership on the board, with the money going to, quote, rebuild Gaza, according to U.S. official who spoke on condition of anonymity about the charter, but he wasn't permitted to speak publicly about the board because it hadn't been made public yet. $1 billion. A 3-year appointment has no contribution requirements. So, I'm hoping to get appointed. I'm going to be great at Gaza peace. Yeah. I'm going to want that piece, and I'm going to want that piece. And I'm going to want that. We're gonna get canceled so
I
fast.
was gonna say joke.
I'm kidding. It's a joke. All right, you hear the music. We want to say thank you.
Tonight's episode.
Special guest, Romello Marcellus. Stay tuned for his new radio play that we're going to perform here blind without reading any of it at all.
Yeah.
Also, go check out Snopes about the thing with the flag. You're going to be really shocked to find out how true it is. Go get his book. It's 17 pages long. Even I can read that. Thanks to our radio partners who each paid us $1 to be not mentioned. No, I'm sorry. They paid to be mentioned, but we won't because
our names.
No, they just gave us $1, so we're not going to do it. You got to give us more than that. $1 billion. You want to be on our show. Thanks to NOTN for keeping us on for another week, maybe. Don't know. Thanks to our home on the interwebs, coplaymedia.com. And thanks, as always, to our family here at Beltway and Rip Radio for making it sound as smooth as the snow we're about to get hit with here in D.C. All right, where can everybody get you on the socials there, Tez?
You can find me on Blue Sky, DC Cortez.
All right. And you can find me and the show on the Twitter at ChipChatRR. You can find us on Facebook or Instagram at RipChipChat. And you can, of course, find me on the Blue Sky at Chef Chip. And, all over the other places, I think I am. I don't know. It's cross-posted like, whoa, yo. And, and you can catch us every Thursday night, but not next Thursday night because we're doing stuff. Or Man in the Mirror's on and all that stuff. And then I think we got a day off in February, too. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, it's going to be cool. Tez loves days off. But most Thursday nights here at 9:30 on Rip Radio, Beltway Radio, and wherever else you're watching us. We don't know at this point. I'm Chip. That's Tez. Brian somewhere in the background. You're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Democracy.
Street balls.
Another chapter in history, another verse. Trump promises political violence, but no hearse. FTG and Shapiro try to rap, but don't rehearse. These right-wing nuts can't get any better, just worse. Tez and Chip out here trying to save the republic like Tez on the golf course. It ain't private, just public. When we have a drink in the bar, it's not beer, it's a public. It's hard to get something to rhyme with this subject. If we get famous, we can give a shout out to Brian. To get us out on time is what he be trying. The show is like a custom feathered avian that knows words. How can we stay late when our guest is Illy Bird? In conclusion, the message is to go out and serve folks, whether that's through art, music, or if you just tell jokes. Seek to medicate your ears, hope you eradicate your fears. Thanks for sticking with us through all these years.